From the Empire State Building to the legendary Hoover Dam, on this episode of Built a Billion, we're about to uncover some of the greatest megaprojects ever constructed in the Americas. And stay till the end of the video to see the pyramids in Central America that could have only been built by a higher intelligence. And if you love to hear about all the megaprojects of the world, please subscribe to the channel and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. It'll really help the channel out. The St. Louis Arch. The St. Louis Arch is an amazing structure that overlooks the Mississippi River in St. Louis, Missouri. The iconic arch was first built in 1967, and millions of people have come to visit it since. Known also as the Gateway Arch, it's America's tallest national monument and the only one that commemorates America's westward expansion. At 630 feet tall, it's more than twice as high as the Statue of Liberty. Its height matches its width, and it's built to look different at every angle. One side faces east and one faces west, so that its steel exterior reflects both the rising and setting of the sun. The design incorporates an inverted catenary curve, which is the form created by a chain that hangs from 2 points, but inverted. The outer skin of the arch is made of stainless steel, the inner with carbon steel, and the lower third is filled with concrete. This allows the thrust to be carried up through the legs and be absorbed in the foundations. The other 2/3 of the arch is completely hollow. For the base of the legs, 300,000 feet of earth and rock were excavated. Footings 60 feet deep were sunk, and 26,000 tons of concrete were poured into these footings. Then came the double-wall triangular section that weighed over 50 tons. 142 of these were needed to complete the arch, and they were lifted into place and then connected by steel tensioning rods and then welded together. But how would the arch be constructed if they didn't know how to carry the steel to the top? And how would crew members have a work area without traditional scaffolding? The answer was a piece of construction equipment that the world had never seen before: the creeper derrick, specially designed for this project. It was essentially 2 tiltable platforms mounted on railroad tracks with a 130-foot crane on the end of each. With no strict safety laws, workers would be on steel beams with no support, hundreds of feet in the air during winds, clinging on for dear life at times. The final keystone was placed by an operator who couldn't even see what he was doing and had to follow close instructions via walkie-talkie. But it slipped successfully into place and was then welded together. Today, visitors can step inside either one of the 80 passenger trams in each side to visit the observation deck on top of the arch, which can fit 100 people. It's 6'9" high and 65 feet wide. The Gateway Arch is a testament to American engineering and one of the greatest megaprojects of all time. The Hoover Dam. The Hoover Dam was the largest concrete structure ever built at the time of its construction in 1936. This marvel of engineering helped shape the American Southwest during the early 20th century, providing flood management, a reliable source of water, and hydropower. The construction of the Hoover Dam was also, however, supposed to create jobs for a population preparing to enter the Great Depression. It's located 26 miles southwest of Las Vegas and required the construction of a whole new town to house the workers and their families. Work started in 1931 by diverting the Colorado River so that the dam could be constructed on the dry riverbed. They did this by boring 4 56-foot, 17-meter wide tunnels through the canyon using dynamite and jackhammers. Then, they dropped the excavated rock into the river, forcing water out of the tunnels, and pumped the area dry, exposing the seabed. The Hoover Dam was to be held in place by both the weight of its concrete and water pressure that forces it into the canyon floor and walls. In 1933, construction began on the concrete walls. The site was divided into rectangular molds that were filled with steel pipes that carried river water through them, allowing the concrete to cool and harden much faster. Without this method, it would have taken 125 years for the massive concrete wall to cool and harden. In total, 87.5 million cubic feet of concrete and 582 miles of cooling pipes were used in the construction of the dam. By 1935, the 726-foot-high dam was complete, and the diversion tunnels were sealed shut, allowing the Colorado Dam to flood the canyon and create the reservoir we know today as Lake Mead. The dam was generating electricity by the end of 1936. Today, the Hoover Dam has an output of 4.2 billion kilowatt hours and provides electricity to millions in the southwestern United States. The Empire State Building. The Empire State Building may not be the tallest building in the world anymore, but still defines New York City's skyline in a truly classic way. The land in which the Empire State Building stands was bought by a group of investors known as Empire State Inc. William F. Lamb then designed the Empire State Building with a step-back design, which features a bottom section that's considerably larger than the top. But why make it so tall? Well, the answer is simpler than you might think. There was a race between the Chrysler Building, the Empire State Building, and 40 Wall Street to see who could make the tallest building. Needless to say, the Empire State Building won. Despite the Great Depression, the 17-meter deep foundation began construction in 1930 and really took off from there, averaging 4.5 floors every week. One reason for this speedy progress was the installation of drink fountains in cafes as the building rose. Its 3,400 workers didn't have to go very far to eat, which also made for some pretty iconic, albeit terrifying pictures. 57,480 tons of steel were used for the Megaproject, and 200 trucks made deliveries every day carrying materials like tiles, sand, and cement. By September 1930, the steel structure was completed, 12 days ahead of schedule, and the brickwork followed close behind. Work was completed in just 410 days, with the final golden rivet being placed on April 11, 1931. The final cost of the project was just shy of $41 million, the equivalent of $500 million today, which strangely was less than originally estimated. That's extremely impressive, seeing as though mega projects usually go over budget. The Empire State Building was now the tallest building in the world and the first to cross 100 stories. It required 10 million bricks to build, contains 6,514 windows, and commands a total floor area of 256,211 square meters, enough to cover 517 American football fields. Teotihuacan Pyramids. Before the Aztecs or even the Maya lived a culture called the Olmec civilization, or at least that's what the Aztecs called them. This ancient civilization built pyramids that form one of the biggest mysteries in human history. These pyramids rival the Egyptian pyramids in scale and are believed to be around more than 2,000 years old. But the construction doesn't stop above ground. There are miles-long man-made tunnels underneath the pyramid structures, which could have been used as aqueducts or possibly for energy generation. These same tunnels were found under the pyramids in Egypt as well. Researchers believe that these pyramids carried major spiritual significance for the Teotihuacan civilization because at the center of every city stood a major pyramid that served as a sort of heart of the establishment. The later Aztec civilization wrote many accounts of gods descending from the skies and landing on these pyramids, where the Aztec would then give gold and other gifts to them. This has led ancient alien theorists to believe that the pyramids served as a landing site for higher intelligence. If that doesn't pique your interest, additionally, the pyramids of the Sun, Moon, and a smaller one nearby mark the exact coordinates of the 3 stars that make up Orion's belt in the Orion constellation. The Pyramid of the Sun stands as one of the largest constructions ever built in the Americas, and researchers still have no clue how the ancient civilization accomplished this. It contains over 1.1 million adobe mud bricks, and its base is almost exactly the same in size to the Pyramid of Giza, although it's much shorter. With still 90% of the pyramid site left unexcavated, researchers hope to one day unravel the mystery of the Teotihuacan pyramids. But to me, the answer is obviously otherworldly. Which one of these mega projects is your favorite? And what mega projects would you like to see me do a video on? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, click a video on the screen to learn about more of the greatest mega projects of all time. And thanks for visiting Built a Billion.